It's not exactly a newsflash. American politics have become deeply divided and polarized. Many of the cleavages are well known. Democrat versus Republican, urban versus rural, Fox News versus MSNBC. There is the cleavage between the more liberal coasts and the more conservative heartland. There are racial and gender divisions as well. Over the last decade, another dividing line has become increasingly prominent: education. In 2020, over 60% of voters with a college degree went for Biden. Across some racial demographics, such as with whites and Latinos, Joe Biden performed far better with folks with higher education. Donald Trump, for his part, cultivated deep support among voters, especially men, who never went further than high school. Their passionate defense of his cause led him to famously proclaim, "I love the poorly educated." So what gives? Why has education become such a predictor of voting patterns? Naturally, the two parties have very different explanations for this trend. As the Democrats would like to tell it, education makes you smart, and smart people vote intelligently. Higher education tends to encourage social and cultural openness. Exposure to diverse perspectives and ideals fosters empathy. The scientifically inclined may be compelled by the democratic acceptance of man-made climate change. More educated individuals may recognize the profound flaws in the American healthcare system and have a deeper grasp of how centuries of racism impact modern socioeconomic conditions. Women that have dedicated decades to their education may be more inclined to support reproductive autonomy. Republicans, of course, reject this narrative. Their preferred explanation highlights the burgeoning cost of education, sometimes for degrees with debatable real-world relevance. They argue that advanced education is a leisure activity of the privileged elite, that quote-unquote real people that work with their hands have a better understanding of government waste than some liberal journalist who has never had to make a payroll tax, that those cloistered in urban ivory towers have no grasp of wide swaths of rural poverty in America. It's easy enough, they might say, to write an academic support of immigration, far more difficult to manage daily life in a border town that faces an influx of undocumented migrants. The truth is that the education divide is intertwined with many of the other fissures in American society. The highly educated find work in big cities, perpetuating an urban-rural divide. Blue-collar jobs continue to disappear, furthering a class divide along educational lines. A second truth is the educational divide is not good for either party or for America. If the Democrats cannot hold a blue-collar base, their pathway to election diminishes. Democrats won't get far with just the doctors, lawyers, and an urban core. Meanwhile, if the Republicans simply dismiss higher education, they will proffer simple-minded solutions to complex issues and to field candidates better suited for a professional wrestling match than higher office. Perhaps both sides have something they could learn from the other.